What's happening, YouTube? And welcome to another review video. Today I'm going to do a review of the Orange Crush Pro C120 or CR120. I think that's what it is, the Crush. So the Crush Pro from Orange 120. It's a great little solid state head. I just got it, so I want to run it through its paces real quickly, and I'm going to show you that there's the amp. Okay, I'm going to be using these two beauties over here. I got both 2017 model guitars. This is my Fender Elite Strat. Awesome, so you can hear the single coil tones going through the amp. And then we're going to use my 2017 Sterling by Music Man, John Petrucci model. It's the JP150 in Neptune Blue, which I just got also about a week ago, actually. Love that guitar. And there's a reason that I'm going to show you the difference between these two guitars. That being the sound that you get on the gain channel. Two wholly different sounds. And a problem with humbuckers, which I've found today. So I'm going to show that to you. Let me get the camera set so you can see the controls of the amp here. Snap that down, strap that puppy in. I think we're good. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to use the Strat. So I got my cable here. I'm going to plug this guy in. Okay, turn the amp on. And first I'm going to go into the clean channel and show you what we get for tones. Today's pick is a V pick. What one is this? This is the Medium P, it's called. I like this pick a lot, but it does get that signature chirp. Okay, so here's the clean channel on the amp. Give it some volume. So right now on the clean channel, which is these three knobs over here, you got a volume, a bass, and a treble. That's it. That's all you get for the clean channel. So the way I have it set right now, I have the bass up around 7, the treble around 7.5, the volume is around 6.5, and I get this tone, and that's with the single coil in the bridge position. And I have my tone knob rolled off about down to 8 from 10. Here's the neck pickup. You get good bell-like tones out of this clean. I like the clean channel on this a lot. I actually, when I first plugged the amp in, I probably spent the most time on the clean channel. I like it. I like the way it sounds. Let me turn the volume all the way up, and you can hear the little bit of breakup that it starts to get. Not too drastic. When you run it with a humbucker, you get a little bit more breakup, of course, because you get a bigger signal, but it's still very chimey. If I go to the 4 position on my 5-way switch, you get a real chime out of it. My birds in the background are starting to tweet. There's the middle pickup on my Strat. start to get a little bit more of that breakup that I was talking about. And don't forget my master volume, which is over here, is only on 1.5 around, and it's pretty loud in the room. This is a very loud amplifier. This could very easily hang with a drummer and a bass player and keyboard player or whatever. Very loud, plenty loud on the clean channel. If I cranked it up to halfway, I'm terrified of what that's going to sound like in my house. That's really, really loud. I can feel that in the floor. Extremely loud. And you can hear, right now I have it on the Hall. I was on Hall Reverb. You get 3 different kinds of reverbs on this amp. We got Spring, Hall, and Plate. I like the Hall a lot, but I also really like the Plate. With the Plate, you can hardly hear it. Like, for me, I find I have to crank the Plate all the way up. That plate reverb, you got to crank it way up. If I turn it down to halfway, it's almost non-existent. It's extremely tight. Now, if I use the same setting and I go up to the Hall, it's pretty big. It's got a very long decay, even at halfway. Another thing that I found with this amp that's very reminiscent of a tube amp is that it's extremely dynamic. Tube amps usually do this. I haven't really, I guess my Boss Katana does it too, but not a lot of the solid state amps have really good dynamics. So like, what I mean by that is if I play this chord, you can just pick it harder and it gets very loud, and you can hear the sound of the amplifier change. So if I play it very quietly, and then while I'm playing I increase the volume or the level of intensity in which I'm picking with, not sure exactly how well that translates through my little camera here, but the volume difference is substantial. It gets a really good dynamic attack to this amp. So if I really want to lighten up and play light, it quiets down real good. And if I want to make it sound a little louder, I can play a little harder. Overall, this clean channel sounds really good. On the clean channel, I think I said it earlier, but my volume is all the way up. If I turn the volume down to about half, I won't get any breakup. Of course, I got to turn the master up a little more to get the volume into the speakers. But I still have that dynamic too. clean channel is really good, and of course I'm playing my Strat still, but I'm going to switch over to the gain channel, so the dirty channel, and automatically you hear that I have the gain turned way up. So my gain right now is fully on. If I turn it down to half, you can hear that hiss go away. And holy crap, is that loud. Let me turn that down. That's still pretty damn loud. If I go down to 1. Okay, so that's the sound you get. You can actually get a passable clean out of this gain channel if I turn the gain down beyond. Of course, you lose all your volume. It's really strange because the volume on this is cranked. If I have the channel volume all the way up, my gain becomes like a second volume knob, really, which I don't like that it does that. I mean, I get what gain does, it boosts the signal a bit, but the volume shouldn't be hit so hard. And another thing to make note of is that this gain, it stays really clean for a lot of the knob. So off, it's off. You get no volume. You can't have no gain. I'm at 1, it's super quiet. I have to crank my volume up past half for it to even register on the master volume. But if I keep it on the master volume there, it's going to hurt if I start to turn this up. So right about there at the, what is that, 1, 2, 3, at the 4 o'clock position is where your gain really starts to work. But it's very clean gain. It starts to distort right around 5. And I'll let you know that I'm on the bridge position of the guitar right now. And I'm going to leave it on the bridge, on the gain. I'll let you know if I switch it. But the gain right now at 5, you have very, very little. So you start to get that like that Texas crunch sound, you know, that like Stevie Ray Vaughan would use. Here's my neck position. So it's a very, very good, clean gain. And of course, I'm down on my volume here. If I crank it up a little tiny bit, you start to hear it hit the speakers. And by the way, I'm using an orange 212 open back cabinet for this demo right now. And I still have that dynamic attack too. If I pick softer, it's quieter. If I pick harder, it's louder. So the gain on this is kind of interesting. It doesn't start to really get into the rock or hard rock levels until you go past the 6 o'clock point, or the 12 o'clock point rather, the 6 on the knob. So right about there, the gain starts to dirty up. I'd say 7 o'clock, you start to have some real... Start to get some real gain. I'm going to turn the reverb down a little bit, and I'm going to turn the gain up. So right there, which is at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you start to hear the hiss that you get on a high gain channel. So right at the 8 o'clock is where you start to get that high gain hiss. And you can hear too when I turn my volume knob up. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. but there's an audible hum, man. So you can hear that on the single coils, and these are noiseless, by the way, so they really shouldn't be making any sound. But now you start to get that really good gain. And that is crushingly loud. I'm going to turn this back down. Once you turn that gain up, man, the volume changes so much, which I'm not sure if that would be a good thing or a bad thing. If I wanted to match my clean channel to the sound of my, or the volume level of my gain channel, that might be kind of tough to do with this amp. Maybe not. It's probably because I have my volume on each channel cranked, but we'll see. So that's a listenable volume. You could easily play at this volume in an apartment. I doubt you can hear me in the camera talking while I'm playing, but 2 people in this room could talk while I was playing. No problem. So that's very low volume. You could easily get away with using this in an apartment. But let's get back to that gain knob. So we're at the 8 position now. We're going to go up to the 9 position. And you're going to hear that fuzz or that hum gets a lot more. So I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's louder. So it gets really good gain. When I crank the gain all the way, that's all the way up now, the amp is going to be louder. I can get harmonics, pinch harmonics on single coils. It's got good gain. So it's a scorching gain channel. My EQ on my dirty channel right now, I got my bass is up here around the 8 o'clock or 8 on the knob, around the 3 o'clock almost. This is a little past half. This is a little bit past half. So middle and treble a little bit past half. But this is a very dynamic EQ. You can get a strong difference. So if I remove all the bass, it's very anemic and there's nothing punching the cabinet now. I like the bass on this amp about 3/4 of the way up. It's my favorite spot. On the middle, you get a lot of mids on this. So there's the scooped, old school Metallica. Of course, they use humbuckers, not freaking single coils, but you know what I'm saying. Treble, you change the treble. I'm actually going to put my mid back down, or back up I should say, up around there. Treble. Over on the bottom of the treble, when you shut it off, you get this unique kind of round tone for solos. It sounds kind of cool. cool way to change your tone up. That's about where I like my treble on this. So the fact that I can get that kind of an awesome pinch harmonic on a single coil says that you've got some serious gain going through there. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch the guitars over to the John Petrucci model. And the reason I'm going to do that is so that you can hear how crazy loud a humbucker is. And it's all of my humbucker equipped guitars. I tried it with a bunch, and they're all kind of too loud for this gain. If you're going to use the gain up like I have it right now, it's just not going to work, especially live. If you're playing with a band and you have this thing cranked up like that, you're going to hate it, and I'll show you why in 2 seconds. Whoops. So, okay. So right now, you don't hear anything. But as soon as I turn the guitar up, you get this super loud hum. And the hum itself is almost as loud as the notes you're playing. So I'm going to turn it up, and I'm going to play a couple of notes with it up, but barely. Now, I just turned the volume on my guitar down so that I won't have this. So the hum on it is extremely excessive. So what I would be doing using this amp is, and this is like 20 bucks, you take one of these little bastards, a little Behringer noise reducer. You can get these for 20 bucks, brand new. Runs on a battery. You put that in between your guitar and the amp, and it's enough to make that stop happening. So plug that guy in. Just throw it up top. Plug this guy in. Now, when I turn the volume up on my guitar and turn this on, it kills it. So now I don't have that hum. So that is an absolutely necessary device if you're going to use this as a high gain amp. Okay, so now my guitar is up. So I don't have that hum now. If I tried to do that sound on my strings without this engaged, listen. Now, one thing I did notice when you put that pedal in line is you lose a tiny, tiny bit of your gain. Turn it on. So that pedal, not being the greatest quality noise reducer pedal you can get, is gonna change the way your amp and guitar sounds. But it's negligible. You know, if you're playing in a band and you need to be loud, you have to have that noise reducer in the signal chain between your guitar and your amp in order to use that high gain. If you're playing in a band and you don't have that pedal, your band is going to hate you because your guitar is going to be making this sound every time you stop and you don't turn your volume on your guitar down. Now, with the volume of the guitar down, it's dead quiet. If I turn this up a bit, you get the amp hiss, the shh that you're supposed to get on a high gain. But as soon as I turn the volume up on the guitar, you start to get feedback. Although, you know, I'm sitting 3 feet away from the amp, so it's obviously going to happen more here. But this amp is remarkably loud, but you need to have that pedal. It has to be there. having showed you all that, and I've been long-winded and I apologize, I'm going to go back to the clean channel with a humbucker so you can hear how it breaks up with a humbucker. I'm going to turn the volume of this all the way up so you can hear the breakup that happens. Turn this up a bit. Don't need that. So now you can hear it. It breaks up better with a humbucker. And I think that just about covers it. The only thing that I didn't go through is the differences of the reverb, so I can show you that right now. Up top is the spring, so I'm going to turn this up a lot so you can hear how they sound. So that's got a really long decay on it. That's the spring. In the middle is the hall. And then the last one is the plate, which again is way too tight. You can almost not hear it. Until you turn it all the way up. But it's a pretty cool sound of reverb. I like the hall myself. Goddamn knob. There we go. I like it right about there. That's a lot of reverb, but it sounds pretty good. So back to the dirty channel, I want to show you something cool. So I'm going to turn the gain down a little bit to reduce some of that fuzziness. Damn, that's loud. Turn that down a bit. But I want to show you what the guitar does when you use the volume knob also. The dynamics of the amp is really good, so if I pick softly... Alright, so that's the dynamics there, but if I'm getting this tone with my volume all the way up. Now if I turn my volume knob down a little bit, cleans up nicely with your volume knob on your guitar, which is what a tube amp is supposed to do. Not necessarily what you would expect out of this amp, which is solid state. So it's a really good amp. The gain stage on it is a little bit fuzzy for me, but I still like it a lot. It's extremely usable. I hate to compare this to my Boss Katana, but my Boss Katana, if you're looking for a solid state head, the Katana is the way to go. The Katana destroys this thing, in my opinion. This is still a great head. It sounds awesome. If you want a really simple 2-channel head without all the frills and all the extra stuff, then this is a great amp to go with. The Katana is better, in my opinion. If you play one, you'll understand. But yeah, that's going to do it for this demo, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's anything else you guys want to know about this little head, let me know. In fact, while I'm standing here and I got it running, I'll show you what the back panel looks like while we're looking at it. So again, I have it running through an orange open back 212. Here's the back panel of the amp. We got effects return and send here. So if you want to put pedals in a loop, you can. There's a section here so you can put a foot switch to switch the channel and the reverb. There's 2 speaker outs here, which it says down underneath. Where am I? There we go. So underneath there it tells you that you can, 2 16 ohm speakers, 1 8 ohm speaker, or 1 16 ohm speaker. Over here is the power. That's it. It's real simple. Going into this orange cab, which is loaded, I think, with Celestion V30s. It's a great cab. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that review. This one was long. I'm sorry about that. I talked a lot. But I thought it was necessary to show you guys that this little pedal is needed if you're going to play high gain and turn this amp up at band volume. You need a noise suppressor. You will not get away with running this amp with a band with no noise suppression. So that's it. It's the orange Crush Pro 120 head. It's a $450 brand new. That's what I paid for it. 2-channel head. It's pretty cool. Let me know in the comments if you dug it or if you hated it. Oh, I'm going to get a phone call in a second, so I'm going to hang up. So I'll let you guys go and have a great day, YouTube. Peace.